Oh, it is an orbit camera already. Oops. Turn around. Well, hello. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm DPC, assuming this thing is actually working. Come on, computer, work with me. Work with me. Seriously? I'm hitting buttons. Thank you. Jesus. I would love it if things would actually work when I want them to work. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of annoying. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, we are definitely alive. Cool, cool, cool. But anyways, yeah, we are gonna do. This isn't really so much gonna be like a big old episode, or really. I'm just talking about talking about Genesis, and you know what? We're gonna play through the final test again and do all that kind of stuff, and but you know, with yesterday's episode, it was well a disaster, to say the least. It didn't go as well as I would have liked. And yeah, we ended up actually lagging out, and because the lag was so bad, I couldn't see the time limit we had, which there shouldn't be a time limit on a final boss that short. I mean, come on. Really? I mean, we did get to the final section at least before stuff started to die and whatnot. You know, so there's that. But this is going to be the full review of Arc Genesis. Now, I will say this much. In concept, this map had a lot of potential. You know, and this is actually probably something that you can have open in another tab and kind of just listening to whilst I talk. So that's kind of the point of why I'm just kind of standing here, and rather than you know, running around and talking. And I got the RGs out just for something other than me to look at. But if you are watching this in a different tab, you can just listen to me talk, and that'll kind of be a whole deal. But one thing I will say is that there are things I like about this map. I do like the different. I have actually, well, mixed feelings about the biomes in general. Actually, I I like the idea of them for the most part, like being able to teleporting around to the different ones. It had an interesting concept. Conceptually, it had a unique concept. I'll say that much. But at being forced to then teleport around rather than you know, having the option of just walking into another biome was just kind of silly. It's unlike any other map in the entire game, which I guess you can say is very unique, very interesting. But this first little section, we're just going to talk about the biomes, right? So the biomes, there's like 5 or 6 of them, I think. Actually, no, not I think. There is like, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's 5 biomes. Now, I'm obviously not going to teleport to them, but let's see. We're going to talk about each one. Now, where's HLNA? First off, say hi. So, biome teleportation. As you can see, there is the 5 biomes here. The let's talk about the so let's go from, let's say the bog, right? So the bog. The only thing that's a saving grace for the bog biome, for me anyway, has got to be, well, the bog spider itself, and then the actual X creatures. You know, I quite like the new creatures, especially the X Argent. Like that this creature is very, very cool. I don't even know why I cryopoded this thing. Yeah, by the way, literally all of this is everything we've procured from Genesis, or everything that we'd want to keep. Actually, we can throw that door out. All this stuff right here, all this stuff is getting warped over to the next map, except for that. Did we ever check this out? I don't think we did. But just on a side note, the 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 map itself, it was fine, but the bog is definitely, not only is it not the easiest freaking map, which was a big fat lie, due for several reasons. That was a big lie. And then you also had the freaking A, the you know, the bug swarm things, which were incredibly annoying. I think in the bog spider episode, you definitely get to see more of what I'm talking about in that regard. Because, wow. I mean, seriously, wow. What were the devs thinking with these swarms that show up every 2.5 seconds and then attack you and then stay attacking you? And then you kill them, only for them to show back up again after, like, what, 5 seconds? That's kind of ridiculous. And yes, they did substantially nerf how much these guys attack. But I mean, come on. What that's poor design on part of the devs there, and I definitely was not a big fan of that. Like, honestly, what were they thinking? And also, this thing is creepy. This thing is so creepy. It's just creepy. But yeah, there we go. I didn't show it off because we lagged out, but I did end up actually finishing the boss fight later. And one thing, I wish I would have had the footage saved, but alas, I didn't. Yeah, the cutscene lagged, like the audio for like what HLNA was saying. You should have seen the outro by now. The audio, what HLNA was setting was not synced well with what was actually happening, you know, with the tentacle coming out, and then she's saying, oh, frick. Well, I'm not actually going to say the word, but you guys know what I mean. Now, but as far as the bog biome is, out of 10, I'd give it a 2. It could have been better. You know what, I think with it being as dark as it wasn't very good. Like, no. And speaking of, wait, what's the next biome from Easy? Let's have a look. HLNA. Bioteleportation. What's the medium? Now, the Arctic is probably my favorite biome out of all of them. Like, hands down. The Arctic is spectacular. It's well balanced. It's perfectly balanced. Well lit. More importantly, and speaking of, the bog biome is depressingly dark, and it's not great. It's poor design, and just, it's not good. Like, what were you thinking? Again, the frick were you thinking, guys? Why can't I access this freaking... Okay, there we go. But yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of the lighting. The poor lighting was absolutely horrendous. And you know what? Again, it had a lot of promise. I'm pretty sure if you were to have areas where the lighting was a little bit more balanced, then it probably would have been better received. But alas, that's not a thing. But you know what? I do like the bog spider very much. But yeah, coming back to the Arctic, what's it? The creature, that creature thing that is exclusive. Gosh, what is it? The thing that transforms. The shapeshifter. I'll just call it the shapeshifter since I can't think of the name right now. But yeah, though, that thing is really cool. The Ferox, there it is. The Ferox is really nice. The X creatures of that biome are very cool. Like, again, the XRG. But you know what? I think that there definitely should have been more X creatures. I would have liked to see an X Dodic. I mean, yes, there's an X Ankylo, but an X Dodic would have been cool. Or an X Megaloceros. Or, you know, something like that. Oh, looks like there was a start to an expansion up here. Cool. But anyways, yeah, no, I was quite a big fan of that. I mean, honestly, though, the new creatures are probably the best saving grace of the map, whilst also being the absolute worst, and I'll get into that when I get to it. But you know what? The only thing, out of all the new creatures, the unique taming method I like probably the most, actually, is the Ferox. And plus, with you being able to purchase element through HLNA, that kind of was a saving grace for that. But yeah, no, the Arctic biome is great. and as well as the ocean biome, which those two biomes are the only ones where you can actually see colors better. The volcanic biome is just red and very orange and dark, and it's kind of ridiculous that you have to be at that biome in order to be able to breed the magmasaurs. But yeah, no, I have nothing but rewinding back to the Arctic real quick. Honestly, it's the best biome for me anyway. And whilst yes, it is kind of cold there, but again, I have high fortitude, so that really doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, the Arctic biome is probably my absolute favorite due to it just being perfectly balanced, as all things should be. But speaking of the ocean biome, since we're literally here, it's great. You know, I like the idea of it. I would have liked to see wider land masses, honestly. Like there are some little bits here and there. Like there are some islands that are like quite large, like that one, this one right here to the right, that my head is facing. Yeah, it's like that one's good. I get the nucleus of why it was designed this way. I understand it for the most part. However, I would have liked to see more land masses, like more possibilities as to what you can do with the area as a whole. Now, the ocean biome, again, like the Arctic, is the best lit. I mean, you can see all the fine details. You can see all the little detailed colors on Ravana right here. You can actually see the purple and the green and whatnot on my ghillie suit. If we were at the Arctic, if we were at the volcano biome or the bog biome, you wouldn't be able to see that all that well. It might as well not have any color at all. Ravana might as well not have any color at all. I guess it is kind of balanced in a way, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that design choice. But yeah, no, the ocean is great. I would have liked to see more X creatures. I mean, pretty much all the creatures in the map are pretty much X creatures anyway. But I would have liked to see an X Electrophorus or even like an Ammonite. I mean, yeah, sure, you can't really breed those, but it would still be kind of cool to see. You know, I do like that there's all these ocean-themed birds, like the pelican there. We never did tame one of those. But, you know what, that's fine. You know, who'd really want to tame a Pelagornis that is blue-colored? Oh my goodness. But yeah, as far as looks, yeah, the X creatures probably have literally the best. Like, I love the X creatures, especially the ocean ones. I like the blue. It's very, very nice, and as you can tell, blue is like kind of one of the two of the main colors of the tribe here. Blue and cyan. If you didn't know. That is so satisfying, I gotta say. But anyways. And then we come probably to, honestly, who this one is tied for worst biome for me, is the lunar biome. Now, honestly, the lunar biome is cool. I like the idea, again, like the idea of it, but with the, jeez Louise, with that, the storms always happening 24/7, it's really hard to, not the storm, the whole, radiation thing, it's hard to enjoy the biome when there's always the threat of dying, like, to the heat. Now, sure, again, I have high fortitude, so it's fine. For the most part, I don't really like the idea of being stuck with one or two, with not being able to go anywhere or do anything. I don't like that. You know, I think it's really silly, if anything, to limit what you can do on any one map. Now, if you're really wanting people to explore your biomes, guys, putting up, like with the bog, making it to where you have to do this, that, and the other, like, you have, like, the bog is supposed to be the easiest biome, yet there's the bog spiders that are always attacking you from miles away, and then there's also those insect swarms that are attacking you every 2.5 seconds. That's why literally we didn't really build much of a base there. You know, that's exactly why we didn't really do a whole lot over there. You know, that's exactly why. Because it's built very poorly, and you know the lunar biome is just as bad. Like again, it could have been great. Now the addition of the tech creatures was really cool. You know, I would have liked to see the tech Giga running around up there, and you know I never did actually add the mod that would, or the modification that would give us the oh, my inventory's full. Shoot. Okay. We can throw the gas. Okay, you know what? Let's do this. Let's throw out, first off, you. Throw out the wood. Throw you out. Throw out the vaults. I literally have a vault. Throw that out. I can literally make those. Boom, boom. Bam. I can literally get a sword skin on Ragnarok. That can be thrown out. Keratin. Hide. I'm just kind of gonna do this real quick. Don't mind me. Yeah, you can't even grind that anyway, so that can be thrown out. Let's see what else. Fiber. That's a blueprint for a freaking thing that's useless there. I kind of want to keep the chibis. Well, I'm gonna throw this out. Let's throw these out. Eat the egg. Throw out the bolas, because we don't really need those. And you know what? I'll say this. The biomes, whilst they were decent for the most part, I don't necessarily like being forced to deal with them. Like that's poor design. I hate to say it, but it is. It really is. Like, I don't understand the thought process for that. And you know what? Teleporting around to the different biomes is okay. I would have liked if the pods, or actually not the pods, but I'm sorry. The teleportation could be like the hexagons. I would have loved to be able to use the hexagons as currency to as a currency to kind of teleport around. It's like, oh, you need such and such amount of hexagons to be able to teleport to this thing. So it's kind of, it is a grind, but it's the fun kind of grind that you actually have to work up to. Like, you have to work up to going to the ocean biome. You gotta work your way up. I mean, yes, it would be more grindy that way, but it would be worth it in the end, because it's kind of like an unlocking thing. It's kind of like the unlocking the different pieces of the map. I would have liked that probably more, for the most part. But yeah, no, I think it probably would have been a much better idea if you had the choice on that kind of thing, you know what I mean? Because giving your players more choice in it's like, oh, you can spend all of your time here, or you can expand and be able to teleport to this other area. That probably would have been a much better idea. Didn't really explain it all that well, but I would have liked to be able to have alternative means for the freaking what's it? Oh shoot, oh man, I need another cryopod. Rip. Let's throw that out. That can be thrown out too. Okay, we need one more cryopod for Ravana here. But yeah, no, let's see. What else? The missions. The missions are probably, honestly, one of the stupidest things to ever be added to a map. Like, I honestly don't like the missions at all. I mean, some of them are cool. I've gone on record to say that the whole track and kill missions are probably some of the more interesting ones, but again, I don't like that they're forced. That kind of thing should never you should never force your player base to do something just to progress in the game. The missions should be an option. Like, if you want to, you can do the missions. If you want to do that kind of stuff, you can. Like, I don't want to be forced to do something like the grind. Like, the grind is already there. Like, I want to be able to just go and fight the final boss if I really... Like, sure, there's a grind to it. Like, you have to do this certain thing. Like, you have to fight Modare, or you have to, like... Let's say you have to, like, tame all of the new creatures or whatever in order to be able to go fight not the Overseer. Like, the different creatures. Like, you gotta tame a, Magmasaur or and other thing. Like, there's like a tracker. It's like, oh, you tamed a Magmasaur, good job. You can now go do this. Like, that kind of thing. I think I would have liked that probably more, but forcing your player base to do the missions, and I get the nucleus of why you would want to do that, but again, like I said with the other things, forcing your player base to do something that they really probably don't want to do is a mistake, and one that should not be forced. Like, don't force your player base to do anything. So the new additions are nice. The X creatures are fantastic. Magmasaur, turtle, and spider breeding is annoying. The spiders, I guess, are okay. I guess the only thing that's annoying about the bog spider breeding is the fact that you kind of you can't pick up the eggs, which I think, again, is silly. But I understand why you would want that. I get it. I really do. Again, forcing your player base to do things is not cool. Rana, come here. But yeah, no, I understand it. But not being able to pick up the bog spider eggs is kind of silly. I know pretty much a lot of people have expressed disinterest in that. I have as well, and being like the Magmasaur, I call out the Magmasaur and the turtle for the most part is because you have to put them, like, the Magmasaur has to be in lava. If you were on a different map that doesn't like, if you were on, let's say, oh geez, what's a map that doesn't really have a lot of, if you were on the island and you had a Magmasaur, you would have to go up to that volcano peak just to breed Magmasaurs, which is silly. Now, sure, Valguero and like other places have options on that, but it's like, are you serious? Like, really? You have to be in lava? And now, I guess the turtle isn't so bad because you have to be in deep water, and if you have an underwater base already, which we kind of do, then that's fine, but forcing your player base to do things they probably don't want to do is silly. It's poor design. Now, I would have liked it if, like, honestly, if you were at least touching water in some form or fashion, or if you're, like, anywhere near it, fine, or, like, the Magmasaur, like, if you're, like, next to lava, then fine, but having to stand in it is kind of silly. Now, one idea I had, which I was speaking to Night Stalker about yesterday, is if there was kind of an area of effect where you're protected from lava, if you're standing next to the Magmasaur, not just being in the saddle, or even better, add fireproofing to the hazard suit. Now, that's even better idea, because hazard suits in reality are for the most part fireproof. So why not add that in game? Give another reason to use the hazard armor. You know, speaking of the hazard armor, also you already have to use the hazard armor in the lunar biome anyway. So why not give it an additional use on a different map? You know, I think I would have just liked that quite a bit more. And speaking of the hazard armor, honestly, I love the hazard armor. It's probably one of my favorite armor additions in the game. Seriously, look at this. This is so cool. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the nuclear, pretty much all I really wanted to say. There's Genesis forces you to do a lot of things. Now, one thing I'm hoping for is that in part two, things are less forced. I very much don't like being forced to do things in a game that already wants you to do a lot of different stuff that, for the most part, doesn't make any freaking any like a sense. Like, wait, you want me to do what now? Lol, no, that's silly. Oh my gosh, is that really all the? Wait a second, no way is that all the creatures. Okay. That's weird. Anyways, I think this map could have been better. Now, what I'm hoping for in part two is that there's more to do, but it's not all forced. You know what I mean? Like, don't force us on missions and whatnot. Just let's play the map, and if we get a return of the getting all the artifacts and whatnot, that would be great. Like, I like that part of the game. I like being going on a scavenger hunt for different things. That, for me, is a lot of fun. I enjoy that stuff. Now, if we can have more of that and less of the missions, that'd be great. Now, as far as the new items, I like them for the most part. The new tech items are really, really cool. I like the grenade launcher. The shoulder cannon is really, really neat. I had a lot of fun with that, using that thing. The tech shoulder cannon is cool. More of that. The cruise missile is more of a PvP thing, and we're a PvE tribe for the most part, so really that's just eh. But yeah, no, it's alright. Ish. I mean, I see why. I don't know. I could sit here and talk all day about, oh, I understand this, but I still don't like it. The only thing I have a problem with, as far as the new items is concerned, is the little light bulb. Yes, HLNA is the only thing I have a problem with. It's because, well, for one, this right here. Of course she doesn't actually do it when I'm trying to showcase why I don't like her. But, the fact that she's always scanning stuff that you don't want scanned for the again, I'm looking for Night Space. Like, stop it. No, don't scan things. Like, I'm just trying to go like that right there. I'm just trying to go into orbit camera. Like, you see, and look at that, she's scanning it again. I didn't say scan anything, you frick face. Why are you scanning things? Go away. But anyways, she's okay, and she's unreliable. Like, not at all. Like, what are you doing, girlfriend? Just stop. Just, no. But overall, this map had a lot of potential. Had a lot of good ideas that on paper sound excellent, but as far as execution with this map, it just wasn't very good. Like, at all. It definitely still has room for improvement. And I think the mistakes that were made in this part, you can fix in part 2. Now, it's just a series of more of this, don't do that. Like, the missions. Don't do that. Just, no. No. If the player base, for the most part, enjoys the missions, fine. Have some of them. But not so many. Like, I think it was like over like almost 200 that you needed to do for just the freaking the other ones. But like, are you kidding me? Yeah, there's no way this is all the freaking cryopods. Something got messed up. I don't know, but I'll find them. Either that or it just looks like it's not a lot, even though it really is. But anyways, yeah, the map overall is just, it's not good. Oh, I'm loading in something. Oh, this has to be night space. Wait, oh, yep, there it is. Alright, cool. Well, we've circled back. Cool deal. Hmm. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, see, there we go. You know what? It just doesn't look like it's a lot. Probably because my inventory is trying to compensate for everything. Okay, yeah, I know. It's just hidden from my view for some reason. But yeah, no, that's kind of my thoughts on Genesis. Again, it had more potential. It has more potential than it utilized. Now, could this map have been better? Well, sure. But I don't like being forced to do things. Especially when you look at other maps like Ragnarok, like you can PvP if you want to, but you don't have to. You know, that kind of thing. It's silly to just force your player base into doing some stuff. That's just not something I agree with. Less of that. And yeah, no, it's fine. I guess just never again. This is why maps like Ragnarok and Valguero are so beloved, because you can do basically whatever you want. And it's not forced. You know, it's not something like, oh, you absolutely have to do this thing that is extremely monotonous and not fun at all. But, what are you gonna do? That's my thoughts on Genesis. Again, it could have been better, but it's not. It's just not good at all. But yeah, I think it's about time for us to close here. Close the door on Genesis, probably for good. Let's throw that out. I would have liked to see. I expected more from this map, but it didn't deliver. So therefore, I am upset. But oh well, what are you gonna do? Well, really, there's not much else to do. It's just do better. Do better next time. That's all I can really say about it. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one, guys. We played through Genesis. I didn't fully complete the map. Like, there's still like 50 missions I didn't do. But no, it's just no, I can't. But yeah, we are closing the door on Genesis permanently. If you guys did enjoy the series as a whole, do not forget to drop a like and subscribe if you're new. And here's to playing much better and more fun maps, because this one just was not fun. If you guys did enjoy, do not forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and well, I'll be seeing you all on Ragnarok. Bye bye, guys. Oh, I should probably end the stream. I'll see you guys later. Oops.